In today's video, we're diving into the world of Marvel and exploring 10 canceled Marvel movies that never made it to the big screen. From ambitious superhero team-ups to solo films for some of the most iconic characters in the Marvel universe, these projects were full of potential but ultimately never saw the light of day. Whether due to behind-the-scenes drama, poor box office performances, or shifting studio strategies, each of these films left fans wondering, what could have been? So, grab your popcorn and let's take a look at the canceled Marvel movies that never got their chance to shine. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Marvel content. Let's get started. 10. Silver Surfer. Canceled. Due to the failure of Fantastic Four. Rise of the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer spin-off movie was one of Marvel's most anticipated projects, following the character's debut in Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2007. Introduced as a cosmic herald with complex moral dimensions, the Silver Surfer held immense potential to explore deeper themes of sacrifice and redemption in a solo film. However, despite the character's popularity in Marvel Comics and the intrigue generated by his live-action debut, plans for a standalone project were shelved due to the underwhelming performance of Rise of the Silver Surfer. Critically panned for its lackluster plot and uneven tone, the Fantastic Four sequel failed to resonate with audiences and critics, earning only modest box office returns, barely doubling its production budget. These financial results discouraged Fox from further investing in the franchise. Reports from both books like Marvel, The Untold Story, and websites analyzing box office trends suggest that the studio lacked confidence in the profitability of a Silver Surfer movie, especially after the tepid reception of the previous films. While fans mourned the loss of a potentially rich narrative opportunity, the cancellation may have been inevitable, given the franchise's trajectory. Ultimately, Fox's decision to abandon the project underscored the challenges of translating Marvel's cosmic characters to the big screen during that era. 9. The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Canceled because of funding difficulties. Marvel's journey to bringing Shang-Chi to the big screen was a long and turbulent one, marked by false starts and funding challenges. Long before Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, 2021, became one of the MCU's standout successes, Marvel had been working on adapting the character for decades. Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, revealed that the studio had been interested in a Shang-Chi film since the early 2000s. In 2001, Stephen Norrington, known for Blade, was attached to direct The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, an adaptation of Marvel's martial arts hero. However, the project repeatedly stalled due to Marvel's financial struggles at the time. According to sources like Marvel, The Untold Story, and industry retrospectives, the company lacked the resources to greenlight large-scale productions independently before the MCU's formation. The project was revived several times over the years, but ultimately remained stuck in development limbo. Fans finally saw Shang-Chi's live-action debut with Simu Liu's acclaimed portrayal in 2021. The film's success not only celebrated the character's cultural significance, but also highlighted the progress Marvel Studios had made since its early struggles to bring diverse heroes to the screen. 8. Silver and Black. Canceled to make 2 solo films instead. Sony's Silver and Black, a movie centered on Marvel characters Black Cat and Silver Sable, promised to explore the lesser-known corners of Spider-Man's universe. Black Cat, an anti-hero with a storied romantic history with Spider-Man, and Silver Sable, a mercenary and bounty hunter, have long been fan favorites among Spidey's allies and adversaries. Though the characters had never partnered in the comics, the idea of pairing them on-screen intrigued fans, and Sony announced the project in the late 2010s alongside Venom. Acclaimed director Gina Prince Bythewood was attached, raising expectations. However, production was fraught with challenges. Creative differences reportedly delayed progress, as did difficulties integrating the film into Sony's Spider-Man universe. According to entertainment industry retrospectives and books like The Big Picture, The Fight for the Future of Movies, Sony reconsidered its strategy, deciding to split the project into solo films for Black Cat and Silver Sable. Unfortunately, neither materialized, with Sony ultimately shelving both due to ongoing production hurdles and shifts in its Spider-Man-related slate. Despite the disappointment, the studio has not ruled out revisiting the characters in the future. For now, fans of Black Cat and Silver Sable continue to hope for their cinematic debut in Sony's evolving Marvel universe. 7. Inhumans, canceled to make a TV show instead. Marvel's Inhumans began as an ambitious project intended for the big screen, but its journey took a turn that ultimately disappointed fans. Initially announced as part of Marvel Studios' Phase 3 slate, the movie was meant to introduce the Inhuman royal family, a team of superpowered beings led by Black Bolt, Medusa, and their allies, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. The characters had a rich history in the comics, and their cosmic high-stakes storylines seemed ideal for a blockbuster adaptation. However, as detailed in sources like Marvel, The Untold Story, and Entertainment Retrospectives, Marvel faced internal struggles with the project. Creative disagreements between Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige and Marvel Entertainment's Ike Perlmutter reportedly played a role, alongside the decision to prioritize other films. Ultimately, Marvel reimagined Inhumans as a TV series on ABC, believing it to be a less risky way to introduce the characters. Premiering in 2017, the show received overwhelmingly negative reviews for its lackluster storytelling, poor visual effects, and unengaging performances. Despite its connection to the MCU, Inhumans was canceled after just one season, cementing its place as one of Marvel's rare missteps. Fans continue to hope that the Inhumans will eventually get the cinematic treatment they deserve. 6. Sinister Six, canceled due to the failure of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Sinister Six movie was an ambitious project intended to expand Sony's Spider-Man universe by showcasing a cinematic team-up of the web-slinger's most iconic villains. Following the release of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014, the film teased future appearances of characters like Green Goblin, Rhino, and Dr. Octopus, hinting at a larger plan to introduce the villainous group. Fans were thrilled at the prospect, as the Sinister Six had long been a staple in Spider-Man's comic book adventures. Sony enlisted Drew Goddard, known for The Cabin in the Woods, to direct and write the Sinister Six movie. However, the underwhelming critical and commercial performance of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, despite its big-budget production and marketing, derailed these plans. According to books like The Big Picture, The Fight for the Future of Movies, and online industry analyses, Sony re-evaluated its Spider-Man strategy after the film's mixed reception. The studio ultimately canceled the spin-off, opting to reboot the character in collaboration with Marvel Studios, leading to Tom Holland's Spider-Man joining the MCU. While Sony has continued to explore its Spider-Man villains with films like Venom and Morbius, fan excitement for a Sinister Six adaptation remains tempered. Many wonder if Sony can deliver the cinematic justice this iconic team deserves. 5. X-Men Origins, Magneto, canceled due to the failure of X-Men Origins, Wolverine. X-Men Origins, Magneto was once poised to explore the backstory of one of Marvel's most compelling villains. Following the success of 2000's X-Men, which helped establish the modern superhero movie genre, Fox developed plans to expand the franchise with origin stories for its key characters. Magneto, portrayed masterfully by Ian McKellen, was a natural choice, given his complex history as a Holocaust survivor turned mutant revolutionary. The proposed film would delve into his tragic past, exploring his transformation into the iconic antagonist. However, the failure of X-Men Origins, Wolverine, 2009, derailed these ambitions. Criticized for its weak storytelling and poor execution, Wolverine tarnished the Origins branding, leading Fox to abandon its plans for a Magneto spin-off. Sources like Marvel, The Untold Story, and Entertainment Retrospectives cite the film's lackluster reception and the studio's pivot toward ensemble films as reasons for the cancellation. Despite this, fans eventually got a younger Magneto with Michael Fassbender's acclaimed portrayal in X-Men First Class, 2011, and its sequels. These films incorporated elements from the scrapped Magneto script, offering a nuanced and engaging depiction of the character's journey. While the original project never materialized, its spirit lived on, giving audiences a rich exploration of Magneto's origins. 4. Spider-Man 4. Cancelled due to the failure of Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 4 is one of the most infamous cancelled Marvel films, leaving fans wondering what could have been. Following the massive success of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, the fourth installment was highly anticipated, with Tobey Maguire set to return as the iconic web-slinger. The first two films were critically acclaimed and helped redefine the superhero genre, while Spider-Man 3, 2007, though financially successful, received mixed reviews, with many criticizing its overcrowded storyline and tonal inconsistencies. Sam Raimi himself expressed dissatisfaction with Spider-Man 3 and aimed to make Spider-Man 4 a return to form, promising a more refined narrative. Early plans included John Malkovich as the Vulture and Anne Hathaway as Felicia Hardy, potentially reimagined as the Vulturess. However, according to industry accounts in books like The Big Picture, The Fight for the Future of Movies and interviews with Raimi, the project faced creative struggles. Raimi was unhappy with the script's progress and felt he couldn't deliver a quality film by Sony's proposed deadline. Ultimately, Sony decided to scrap Spider-Man 4 in favor of rebooting the franchise with The Amazing Spider-Man, 2012, starring Andrew Garfield. While fans lamented the loss of Raimi's vision, the film's cancellation paved the way for new interpretations of Spider-Man in cinema. 3. The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Cancelled due to the failure of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man 3 is one of the most lamented cancelled Marvel films, especially as Andrew Garfield's portrayal of the web-slinger gains appreciation over time. Following the reboot of the Spider-Man franchise in 2012, The Amazing Spider-Man introduced a darker, more emotional take on the character. While the first installment performed decently with critics and audiences, its sequel, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014, faltered. Despite showcasing intriguing setups for future stories, such as the rise of the Sinister Six, the movie received mixed reviews and failed to meet Sony's financial expectations. Reports from industry retrospectives, such as The Big Picture, The Fight for the Future of Movies, highlight how the second film's underperformance led Sony executives to rethink their plans for the franchise. Behind-the-scenes issues, including creative disagreements and Andrew Garfield's strained relationship with the studio, further complicated matters. Plans for a third installment, which would have explored the fallout of Gwen Stacy's death and delved deeper into Peter Parker's challenges, were shelved as Sony decided to pivot. Ultimately, Sony struck a deal with Marvel Studios, rebooting the character for the MCU with Tom Holland. While fans mourn the unrealized potential of Garfield's Spider-Man, his reprisal in Spider-Man No Way Home offered a bittersweet glimpse of what could have been. 2. X-23. Cancelled after the Disney-Fox merger, the proposed X-23 movie, which would have centered on Daphne Keene's breakout character from Logan, 2017, remains one of the most disappointing cancelled Marvel projects. In Logan, Keene portrayed Laura, a young clone of Wolverine with his powers, in a nuanced and emotionally resonant performance that quickly earned her a devoted fan base. Many believed her portrayal was a highlight of the film, and there was considerable fan demand for a spin-off to explore her journey further. Reports from industry sources, including The Big Picture, The Fight for the Future of Movies, and interviews with insiders, suggest that a film focused on X-23 was being actively considered in the wake of Logan's success. However, the Disney-Fox merger in 2019 changed everything. As part of the deal, Disney took full control of Fox's film properties, including the X-Men franchise. This restructuring led to significant shifts in Fox's film slate, and the X-23 project was among the casualties. While Disney has since integrated the X-Men and mutants into the MCU, there has been no movement on an X-23 film. Given the changes at Fox and the restructuring of superhero films post-merger, it's unlikely the project will come to fruition, leaving fans to wonder what could have been. 1. Fant4stic 2. Cancelled due to the failure of Fant4stic. Fant4stic 2, the sequel to the 2015 Fantastic Four reboot, was one of the most notable Marvel movies to be cancelled in recent years. The first film, Fantastic 2015, directed by Josh Trank, was a disastrous attempt to bring Marvel's iconic superhero team to the big screen. The film was widely criticized for its incoherent storyline, dull characters, and dark, totally inconsistent approach. Despite the Fantastic Four's potential for exciting, family-friendly adventure, the reboot opted for a grim and unrealistic interpretation, which alienated both fans and critics. As detailed in books like Marvel, The Untold Story and Entertainment Analyses, the film's poor reception, combined with behind-the-scenes turmoil, including reported conflicts between the director and the studio, led to its box office failure. Fox had initially planned a sequel, but the overwhelming disappointment of Fantastic made any further investment in the franchise seem untenable. The film's underperformance solidified its place as one of the biggest failures of the superhero genre in the 2010s, and Fox eventually canceled the planned sequel. With the Fantastic Four franchise now under the Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) umbrella, fans are hopeful that future iterations will do justice to the team, offering a more faithful and engaging version of the beloved heroes. And that's a wrap on our list of 10 canceled Marvel movies. It's always fascinating to think about what could have been, but the world of superhero films is constantly evolving. Who knows, maybe some of these projects will find new life in the future, whether through reboots or new storylines. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments which canceled movie you wish had been made. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content about your favorite heroes and the stories you never got to see. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.